does one protect themselves in a domestic violence case? My name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues here in Michigan. And today we're going to continue our video series designed to educate and inform the public, so please subscribe to our channel. You know, how you protect yourself in a domestic violence case is going to depend on a lot of scenarios. In a lot of situations where someone gets arrested for domestic violence, there's a whole spectrum of activity that may have caused the arrest. It could have been that somebody was beating somebody up. I mean, that's the worst part of the spectrum. It could also be that husband and wife had a loud argument and the next door neighbor in the neighboring apartment called the police. And then all of a sudden they show up and somebody gets carted away. A lot of times when the police show up on a domestic violence case, somebody's going to jail. So in that situation, one can find themselves looking at a domestic violence case, facing the charge, yet the complaining witness, the alleged victim, doesn't even want to go forward with it. So when you're talking about protecting yourself from these kind of things, number one, you got to find out, is the alleged victim actually going to go forward with it? Is it one of those scenarios where the law has run away with the case without considering, do the victims really want to move ahead? A lot of times in these cases, I can't tell you how many times I've heard this. Somebody will say, I didn't want him arrested. I just want him talked to. I just want him to get some help, some counseling or something. I'm not trying to make a criminal out of anybody. And you get that, and people don't realize that once the police are involved, they're involved in criminal justice. They protect and serve. That's what their job is. If you want a remedy outside the criminal justice system, you don't call the police. Maybe you call a therapist. Maybe you call a priest. You call a rabbi. You don't call the police. If you're calling the police, they're coming in with guns and handcuffs, and you have to understand what that means. So, number one, you want to protect yourself against this? Find out who the complaining witness is, because odds are, if it's some neighbor who called it in, but your spouse doesn't want to go forward, then I can already tell you what's going to happen in that case. Court dates are going to come up. The spouse isn't interested and is going to be a no-show. And ultimately, the court will grant your attorney's motion to dismiss that case because they don't have a complaining witness. So that may be how it goes. Another aspect of this case, and I hate to talk about it really because it shouldn't happen, a lot of times these cases are prosecuted so that one person can gain traction in a custody case. Dad wants to get custody from the mom. Mom has a violent temper. Dad calls the police and says that she temper exploded and she's violent. They haul her away and all of a sudden she's out of the picture. The court enters a no contact order, so now she can't see her husband, which she doesn't care about, but she can't see the kids either. And it becomes very complicated to see the kids when there's a no contact order, even if the court allows it. And all of a sudden she's out of the house and he's got the best custody position. So we do see a lot of that maneuvering and manipulating just for the sake of the custody case. I will tell you though that the courts are wise to it. And they're going to look at every domestic violence case, construing everything in the light most favorable to the victim. However, the moment the court sees that there's something going on here that's a manipulation and an effort to jockey for position in a custody case, that's the moment that that domestic violence case begins to unravel. If that's going on in your case, reach out to your lawyer, tell him or her what's going on, and let them decide what the best strategy is for doing that. If you need any guidance in that, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.